I'm here with Gianlorenzo
Hello.
Nardi of Lac Observation to talk about his project and all things related to it. Thanks for joining me, Gianlorenzo.
Thank you.
First of all, what inspired you to start making music?
Well, I used to play in some bands, like mostly like instruments, wind instruments, but I didn't really do make my own music until I was like 25 or something. And I guess, I don't know, I just started noodling around with a guitar. And then there were some bands and some artists that really changed me for the better and made my life better. And so I don't know, I guess I just have to give it back. I felt like I was full of this new stuff, like sounds and lyrics. And I felt like now I have to do something with this and give it back.
Do you have any favorite artists that make you get into music or any influences that are very important to you?
Of course I do. And my favorite band is the Olivia Tremor Control. It's a psychedelic pop band, an experimental rock band from the United States from the 90s, part of the Elephant Six Collective. And that band really changed my views on music and also music making as a ritual and communal act. The Beach Boys, the most weirdest stuff by the Beach Boys, like Smile and Smiley Smile. And there are a couple of Brazilian acts that really hit me hard and also contributed to my giving back. That's going to be Milton Nascimento and Lo Borges and Beto Guedes, the Clube da Esquina.
I hear in your songs like their imagery draws from a wide range of like ancient symbols and like cosmic mythology. What role they play on shaping the music's identity?
Hard one. I don't know. I've always been keen on old stories, myths, mythology, geography too. As a kid, I would spend like hours on maps, like paper maps and old encyclopedias, reading about Germanic myths or Celtic myths, and I was really every day, all the time, daydreaming about these mysterious ancient northern lands and what people were doing like 3,000 years ago. And I don't know, it's always been part of my own personal mythology. And when I started to write my own stuff, it just naturally flowed into that. And I kind of see it. I really think I use the like geographical and mythological imagery as a way to convey feelings, and I think what clicked really in that respect was listening to the Microphones and Mount Teary, Phil Elverum's projects, and he does that too. So it just kind of clicked with me, and I started doing that too.
And with that, all about mythology and symbolism, that leads us to a City of Gandharvas. So, what exactly is the idea behind the album's concept? And what does that city symbolize?
I discovered, I first read about this expression, City of Gandharvas, when I was reading Vijnana Bhairava, which is an Indian text from the, I think, 8th to 9th century AD. And it was just casually named in one of the pages, and there was a note. It said that it means it's the same thing as saying castle in the sky, in the clouds, in the sky. It means something really hard to reach and an impossible idea, a utopia. And I had already I'd written the songs for the album. I'd started recording them. And it just clicked with the hardship of putting such a big thing together. Especially, I mean, I have basically no means. I have this microphones, 2 more microphones, and a 4-track cassette recorder, and a broken reel-to-reel. And I don't live in the same town as most of my bandmates. I mean, not even in the same country. So it was like. It just that's it. I'm kind of building a castle in the sky, and that that book was actually very, very resourceful. Like the song "A Water Fruit," the first single, was also written while I was reading the introduction to that book. There was a whole part about language and relationship between chakras and language, which I don't really remember, but in that moment it really hit. And so it all kind of came together while reading that book. Also, another book that really influenced it was Mount Analog by René Daumal, a French writer, who didn't actually finish the book. He died of tuberculosis before finishing it. And it's this ascent to a symbolic mountain. And yeah, I kind of merged the two things, the utopian city of Gandharvas and this ascent to basically to making the album, to finishing the album. It all revolves on itself.
How is the creative process behind the songs, and what's the recording environment for the album?
The way I write the songs is, I guess, pretty random. Most of the times I noodle around with the guitar, and then boom, all the lyrics are there, and I don't even have to think about them, just write them down. I might edit them later, but it's most of the time it's just boom, got a song. And I don't really think about the writing process. And sometimes I just wake up in the morning after a weird dream, and I have the song, and I have to like rush to the notebook and write it down. And sometimes I have this like instrumental song, and it stays there for a year or two, and then one day I'm just walking around and bound the lyrics for that song. So I don't really work on them. I edit them, like, rhymes and little vocabulary things, but mostly it's just natural. And for the recording part, I really like to record everything on tape. And luckily, I've got this working 4-track machine, the Tascam 4-track. It was used by all the Elephant Six guys, Neutral Milk Hotel, the Oliver Tremor Control, Apples in Stereo, Guided by Voices. And were not Elephant Six, but also by them, Sabado. And I really like the warm sound that it gives to the recording. I like the limit of it. Like, it's got 4 tracks, and I don't know. I think if I only worked digitally, I would go crazy because there's so many options. 4 tracks. Then of course I do overdubs, but the bulk of the song is there, and it's done. When it's done, it's done.
About this, since you're talking about 4-track and all that lo-fi sound, I saw in your radio music account a list called Slacker Prog, and I think that this label is going to fit your music very well. Could you explain a little bit about this term and give to the people watching like some other artists that would fit this category as well?
Yeah. Cool question. That thing, Slacker Prog, it's a radio music list that I made. And I made it because I kind of want to like progressive rock a lot, but most of the time it's too much overproduced. There are these dudes noodling around, showing off on the guitar. It's very hi-fi, and I don't like. I like rock music when it's dirty, garage rock and yes, like a rock. What's it called nowadays? And so I wanted to go for the kind of curiosity more of the complexity of progressive rock. I wanted to write in a peculiar, curious way with tempos and chords, but also keeping it raw and lo-fi. And there are some bands who do that, like Home. Home is an American band, very underground band, quite red to stuff, who do this. It's exactly what the definition says. And other artists, let me think. Yeah, I think Home is the best example. Some Guided by Voices stuff, it can be really lo-fi and quite proggy at the same time. And there's another band from Belgium I really love. It's called They're called Arlet, and they play this weird jazzy psychedelic folk, but it's also quite raw and recorded on tape. And it it feels natural, but when you listen to it, it's all over the place. I really like them.
I have a question about it was the White Mist slash the Western Lands slash Elf Parade. How did that composition come together? Could you describe the recording process for this piece and also highlight some of the elements that appear in it?
Well, it's divided. Yeah, it's divided in 3 parts. So it was the White Mist. It's basically a keyboard drone. Lucia, my partner, and I have a big collection of chord organs. They're keyboards powered by air. And so I just put a contact microphone on top of the keyboard, and there's a vent inside, a fan that goes and pumps the air into the keyboard to make the sounds. So I picked up the sound of the engine. So it's a contact microphone on the keyboard through a delay pedal, through an amplifier, guitar amp with a reverb, into the 4-track cassette recorder, passed also again into some reverb, through some reverb, and then I slow down the tape because the 4-track recorder has got a pitch knob, so you can slow down the tapes. And it guided by voices use that. The Olivetra control do that. It's very cool on drums, slow down drums, but it also works very well with drones. So that's the first part. It was a White Mist. Then the Western Lands, which is also a book by William Burroughs. And that's a jam that we recorded in a cave in Naples. And from the same session as, what's it called? Sister Drag the Sun, on the same album. We recorded that tune in a cave. So the big reverb is real. We didn't add it. Also on tape. And then we jammed a little bit after the song. And that jam is reversed. And that's the second part. And also slow down. Reverse and slow down. The third part is something, it just, harmonics on a guitar. And the rhythm is Lucia banging on a banjo with a delay pedal. And then I invited some friends over, and we played the flutes and all the wind instruments. So that's some fun. That's it.
I wanted to know a little bit about your insight on the variety of instruments you use, like the musical saw. I think there's a viola, violin, clarinet. Could you talk a little about the great use of instruments that happens throughout the album?
Well, the violin is actually, it's funny because it's a banjo. It's a banjo played with bow. And so I can't play violin, and it's I think it's a very hard instrument. Never tried, but I wouldn't. And it's a banjo, which is quite convenient because it's got frets, and also it sounds like an old-timey violin. In old country records, I really like that sound. And clarinet, that's Lucia who plays that. And I play saxophone. That's actually my first instrument. I started playing music at the age of 12, playing saxophone in middle school. Sorry. And what's a musical saw? Both Lucia and I, we play musical saw, and we met, and when we met, we discovered we had the same brand, same model of musical saw, and both of them started because of Neutral Milk Hotel and the music tapes, Elephant Six bands, and. What else? Yeah, saxophones. We got some xylophones, different guitars. What else? I'm looking around to see. I think the most peculiar stuff is the musical saw, and the fake violin. And then I really like to use tapes as instruments. Like I would record some random noises and jamming on the tape, and then I would slow it down or pitch it up and reverse it, and then cut it digitally and place it here and there between maybe between a the chorus and the second stanza to do these passages were really, I don't know, it's really fun. It's like a massage for the mind. It takes you somewhere else.
Since you talked about the Olivia Tremor Control and other like Elephant Sixpence, there's that song on the album, Lakewood Ambulance, that is dedicated for Bill Doss, which is from the Olivia Tremor Control. Could you talk about a little about this inspiration?
Yeah, well, I started to listen to them around 2000 and 2011, 10 or 11, and they blew my mind. It was not a sudden boom, click, but they grew on me so much and quite quickly. And then, yeah, by 2012, they were my favorite band, and they reunited. So I was so happy, just perfect timing. And then Bill Doss suddenly died, and that was in July 2012. And I had this recurring dream throughout the summer of 2012, in which I was at the edge of a forest. And Will Cullen Hart, who is the other songwriter for the Olivia Tremor Control, was standing on a oak tree, as the song says, and Bill Doss was just floating above the ground towards an ambulance. And the dream is, I mean, the song is just a retelling of the dream, it's quite literal retelling. And then the second part, when it changes tempo, it's more personal reflection. It's also inspired by Jason Molina from Songs of Haya and the Magnolia Electric Company. He uses the expression love and work about his heart, and I kind of reprised that phrase that really hit me. And it's just a lot of my songs are directly inspired by dreams or retelling of dreams. They kind of belong to I don't know, in the same realm as dreams. You know, a little bit like I feel like my albums exist in the same reality as, I don't know, for example, Tarkovsky films or David Lynch films. They're just in the background of your head, you know.
One of the songs that draw the attention the most for me, it's Green and Myth / Birch. Is it pronounced Birch? Birch Canoe.
Birch Canoe. Yeah.
Birch Canoe, yeah. Mm-hmm. Could you explain like the symbolism in the song, like the green and myth that is mentioned in the lyrics? And stuff like that.
That's quite dark, actually, but it comes from. Well, I wrote the song first as an instrumental. I didn't have the lyrics or anything. Recorded that in Belgium in 2021 or 2, and then I wrote the lyrics just while I was finishing the album, actually. So it was a late addition to the album, but the imagery. Is from when I was 10 years ago, actually, and it was a pretty dark period, and I was suffering from eating disorder, and I basically fantasized about taking a plane to Greenland and just die there, to start walking northward until I died by freezing. But then I changed my mind. And that song is about that. But also in the song, the changing of intent is also explained. It's about not being suicidal anymore.
That's actually kind of dark, but also very very inspiring in some way. Like about a song about wanting to live in some sort of way. How do you feel when playing live? What does a Lac Observation a live show feels like for you?
Well, first of all, it's quite the lineup is not a fixed lineup. I may play solo. I have a solo show tomorrow in Sicily, and a lot of times I play with Lucia as a duo, and sometimes with Gilda, the guy from Brussels who recorded Gravity Whispers, our last second to last album, and sometimes we're 4 with a full band, so it's always different. I would love so much to to be part of a more like collective band, and so that in a way that we jam and create. I would like to create an environment with drones and sounds, and then the songs just sprout out of this environment. But we don't live in the same country as the other band members, so it's very hard to practice. And so most of the time it's solo or duo. And how does it feel? Well, I'm not very proficient with the guitar, so it feels scary a little bit, but I got used to. And I just hope to transport the people to the same place where I am when playing the songs and reciting the lyrics. Just like to transport them to that dreamy place where I am when I play my songs. Yeah.
Something that I should have asked you earlier. How did Lac Observation started? Is it pronounced Lac Observation? Is it right? As if someone had a lack of observation.
It's actually I do pronounce it like that, but it's actually a lake in Quebec, so it's French. It's Lac Observation. Lac is lake in French. And it started in 2016, when I started writing my first songs. And the name comes from a poem by American poet Lago Lucia, I don't know how to pronounce that. And I just found it, I used to have a Tumblr account, and I found that on Tumblr. I really liked the lyrics, the poetry. And so I asked them if I could turn that into a song, and I did. And that's a song called Also, which is featured in my first EP and also in the first album, Rivers and Pillars. And that also became the namesake of the name of the band, the project, the band. And yeah, that's it.
I had no idea it was in French. I always thought it was pronounced like Lac Observation, but is it Lac Observation? I said it right?
Yeah, Lac Observation.
To finish things off, would you like to say any words to the people watching?
Merry Christmas to you all.
I'm very grateful for having you here and to explain a lot of things. Just like you don't have almost no information line, so it's very great to be here and talking with you to finally understand a little bit more about Lac Observation, no? Say it right now.
Thank you so much.